So what we said about what's the objective, of the report that you're about to build. What problem are you trying to solve with it? Okay. So that's where requirement gathering takes place. Everything that you will need to make it happen, to make that report a success, such that it becomes a solution that it can be used. So that's your process of gathering the requirements, and like you said, rightly, Sal, it could be, well, in our case, it's not really a workshop type of thing that you would need to do. I mean, for business analysts, yeah, they need to do that. But for us, it's more of having series of meetings, emails, exchanging emails, teams, and it's just that constantly asking questions until you get the clarification that you need, and of course, until you get pointed in the direction of all the sources of data that you are going to need. Have you got enough access? If not, that needs to be sorted for you. So that to and fro journey, until you get properly set up to then carry on to this stage of you then, having the data or data sets or data set if it's just the one, and then, starting to work your way around how you want to approach this problem solving. That is how your process of requirements gathering would look like. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for kickstarting the process for us tonight. So Sal has just given us insights into the two of the keywords that she's researched on. So we've had on gap analysis and requirement gathering. That is not to say that others can't talk about what other people have spoken about before. Okay. So you are unmuted there, Ahmed. Do you want to go for it?
Yes. I thought if I had a chance to define or go through most of the words, so I'll start from the bottom maybe. So a few of the keywords, business insight, for instance, which is the understanding and interpretation of data that leads to actionable knowledge, helping businesses make informed decisions, essentially. So when you look at the data and then you draw some insights from like that data, essentially. So that's what I learned from like that particular term. And then you have dashboard, right? Which is a visual display of the most important information needed to achieve one or more objectives arranged on a screen, essentially. So it's like a visualization in a sense, which is the next word that I'm trying to get to. Data visualization, the representation of data in a graphical or pictorial format to make it easier for people to understand and analyze. And maybe I'll do two more and then that would be it. And I also was able to define, reporting, the process of organizing data into information and summaries to monitor how different areas of business are performing, which I think is one of the most important reasons for data analysts, essentially, because at the end of the day, you want to know what the data is telling you, what sort of information have you drawn from like that data, and how that can be helpful to a particular business. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So you've touched on reporting, visualization, dashboard. You mentioned two before that. Which was it?
Business insight.
Yeah. business, was it just that one or there was another?
No, but that was all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I love how you have put those because they are sort of related, aren't they? So you have business insight, dashboard, visualization, reporting. They are all interwoven in their own way, and it is the dashboard that you build, or actually the visualization that you make, the when you put different visuals, different charts together, into the dashboard, when you start to make sense of it, or it starts to make your report. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate between a dashboard and a report. It can be tough. There's a thin line between them. And also it depends on which tool that you are trying to differentiate them in. We'll see more vividly when we get into using Power BI, the difference between a dashboard and a report. But for now, let's use them interchangeably. In your research, um, did you find any difference between reporting and dashboard at all? Mr. Aga?
It was, well, like you said, they were, I mean, most of the two terms were used interchangeably.
Yeah.
I guess the only little, like, I guess, if I don't know if you can consider that a difference at all. For dashboard, the focus is really on visual display, whereas reporting is just like essentially organizing the information to make sense of it. So I don't know if that's a difference, but yeah, that was one thing that stood out for me.
Thank you. I think we can actually say that's a difference that we can put down. That's a valid difference between them. I like that you actually picked that, because it's you have to be really attentive to detail for you to actually pick that difference, while dashboard is talking about different charts on a page. A report is looking at, you could have many pages of different dashboards and many visuals, and you try to make sense of everything, how they all marry together, to then give you good information, which is the business insight, to give you an insight, like an in-depth information that you can take to your stakeholder, as something that they can make a decision on, for the business. Thank you for bringing that explanation forward. It's really good.
Thank you.
So who is going next? Let's have the next person, please. Thanks to the two people who have helped with those ones that we now have a good idea of. Mr. Fidelis, were you able to research any one of these at all?
Not yet. I've not done anything about it.
Oh, we are going to start finding us in this class. We will find you.
Sorry for that. I should have done that, but I had a very long day, and my laptop has just been restarting itself ever since I came back.
Mm-hmm.
It just came up now. In fact, I'm even connected through my phone right now.
Okay. That's fine. I think I saw Mr. Adewale. Mr. Adewale, welcome on board. Are you able to? Good evening, sir. Are you able to? Have you done any research on any of these at all?
Yeah, I've done a couple of little work on one or two. So
okay, let's have it, sir.
Yeah, I've actually looked at the fact table.
Wow.
Transactional table, and basically I got to understand that it's a table in a data, warehouse that stores, quantitative data about a business or such a sales inventory. Like, it's a place where, data is being stored,
Yeah.
that table. So that's just the understanding I go about that. And also I look at the ERD.
Yeah.
As basically caught my attention. I just want to know what exactly is this standalone word ERD mean. So I discovered it's the entity relationship diagram
Yeah.
or electronic repeat dispensing. So, and I further check and I look at an ERD is a diagram that shows how entities like people, objects, or concepts relate to each other in the
Yeah.
project. And also ERD are used in a database design or visualize how entity interact.
Yeah.
And also I also got to know that ERD can help identify mistakes and designs flaw in the database.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
also I discovered that ERD can also help define business process and determine information system requirements. And also the same ERD can be used to help debug database and re-engineer business processes. So and that's all I've actually done in that regard.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love the you see everything that everyone has touched on. They are really very important to the days ahead for us. You know, I will let me look for something on ERD. But before then, what you said about facts table, that is really very true. You know, facts, just like just like the name implies, you are telling me facts like truths, like this is the real deal. So that's what that is about, facts table. Okay. And like you said, that's what the 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 quantifiables of a business are stored in the fact table. Let's say, for example, we are looking at Tesco database. Okay. There would be a table where all the orders that are being placed, products are bought, where all the money is being spent, money spent is shown. Okay, that is the facts table. Okay, there's so many other tables there, but the table that's telling us, giving us facts about the business in terms of the quantity of, if the business is about products being sold, like the stores that we buy things from, then that would be the others table, where every order that has been placed over time is recorded. Okay, that's a facts table. For a hospital, where we're not talking money in money terms, okay, the table that records how patients are coming in for their treatments, how appointments, are being attended, because that's what the hospital or a clinic is about. Is that's the business they are about, So if I get to my GP, if I go into my GP database, for fact table, I'll be looking for the table that stores appointments that are attended, as patients, whichever type of patient, as they book appointments and they come for it, that is their facts table. Okay. For the airport or for airlines, their business would be their facts table would be more around how aeroplanes, how the flights are going in and out, how many outbound flights were done for a particular period of time in the year. Okay, that would be what theirs would be about. So fact table most of the time gives us the information about what the business is about in terms of quantities. It could be monetary if we are looking at business of buying and selling, but sometimes that's not the case, okay? And that's the example would be the hospital where patients going and coming for their appointments is what their business, is about, okay? That's a fact table. Let me give some examples while we are here, okay? I think I opened SoftNet. Yeah, I opened this table, okay? You know how I said about we are going to be learning, we are going to be proceeding into more practical stuff. And the first part will be understanding your data, okay? Because that's the next part when we move into data analytics lifecycle. So after your requirements have been gathered, you understand the business question or the problem that you should solve, and you have already gotten your data. Yeah, you have access to all the data bases or the data sources that you need, that this part is sorted. Then you want to start understanding your data. Okay. Now, understanding your data is that you look at the data you are given and interact with it. Okay. In this part, there will be two things, or if not more, that we are going to be doing. We'll be looking at different tables. One of the objectives would be for us to learn to understand the data before us. And then we will learn to identify which table is your fact table. Now, apart from fact table, we also have something called lookup table, okay? Now, we have what we call, let me make this bigger. So we have what we call fact table or transactional table. So fact table is also called transactional table. You can use those two names interchangeably, okay? Now, if what you are looking at is not fact table or it's not transactional table, then it would be a lookup table. Okay, so that's the other side of the table now. Lookup table, like the name implies, it is there for information purpose. Okay, it's just for your lookup. So it's called lookup table or a non-transactional table. I normally just, or dimensional table. I just call them dimensional table. So you can use the term fact table. You can say fact table or dimensional table. So if it's not fact table, it will be a dimensional table. Fact table are transactional in nature. They tell you the business of the organization, okay? While lookup tables or dimension tables are the ones that tell you, they just give you more information around the qualitative. So while fact table is giving you quantitative aspects of the business, dimension table is giving you the qualitative, is describing the business in other terms. And I will show you what I mean by that with this data set. This is the Northwind data set, okay? And I land on this first table, customers table. We can see the name of it just down here. It says customers table, okay? If you have a look at this, I'm just going to try and highlight the headers so that we can see more properly, what we can differentiate between the table headers, and the table itself. So I don't want to turn it to a table. Okay, actually, let me turn it to a table so that it makes more sense. Okay, so all I did now is I just pressed Control T because I want to change everything here to a proper table. Okay, at the moment it's just seeing it as what's it called? Is it series or something that they call it? Okay, it's not seeing it as a table. Okay, so I press Control and T together to pick every detail. And you know, it came up with this dialog box asking me, am I trying to create a table? It's telling me where is the data for my table. And because I've picked Control T already, which picked everywhere, every of the cell that's got information on it. So that has been picked here. It says from A to L, and we can see we are from A to L, you know, of a certain number, A1 to L92. That's where all of my data is residing within this page. Okay. Now the next is asking me, my table has headers. Does this table has headers? Now I'm going to need to tick these to show you that the first parts are actually headers. They are the like the little title for each of the column headers. Okay, so I'll okay that, and that changes that for me. So you see that I do that, or I pick all of the table, and if I come here, insert, I can insert table from here. Now it's not going to give me that option anymore. Can you see there's a table here? And while I'm hovering on here, you can see the dialog box that it brings. It says table is Control T. So it's telling me a different option of getting the same result, which is what I used originally. Most of the time, it's just easier to work around your keyboard, you know, knowing or remembering all the control whatevers. Control S for saving, Control C for copying, Control V for pasting, Control Z for undoing, you know. Just remembering all of that makes life easier, easier than coming here to look for the buttons that you might need per time. Now I have this table. I just digressed there for a bit. Now, if like I said, I dropped an Excel video, which is very helpful. It would help with the beginning or the beginner's aspect of things in Excel. It would help if we go into that video and start to learn. You will just see, you will catch up if you are not an Excel user that much yet. The way you would catch up very quickly, you would be amazed, you know, as well. Right, so I have this table here, and that says customers table. But let's assume you don't even have a name customers table here, and you want to understand what you are looking at, okay? You would, you know, look at the headers, you know, and try to make sense of it. So here I am, I have customer ID, I have company name, first name, last name, contact title, okay? I'm sort of gleaning some information there. I have the addresses of these customers. Now there's one major thing that's giving this table away, and it says customer ID. Okay, that immediately tells me that I'm looking at data set as it concerns some customers, because I can see their IDs here. You know, the companies that they each represent, I can see their company names, each representative, you know, each of those customers, you know, their name, their first and last name, their role within each of their companies, I can see there. Okay, so this is me gradually making sense, you know, of this page. I see their address, the city that they operate in, their region, their postcode. Okay, they have their countries as well, phone and fax. Okay, now if I were to put this, what I've just discovered about this data set, if I were to put it in a sentence, say, describe in a sentence, what is this data set about? What would your answer be? Anyone can unmute and talk.
So I'll just try. Is it customers' details? Because it's just showing the addresses,
Say
the
again,
phone numbers. I would think it's showing customers' details.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Customers' details. Okay, I can see the names, addresses, phone numbers are there. So those are details of the customers that this business are relating to or relating with. Okay, so we're getting there. Thank you very much for that. Now, ignore the names that you see. I should have just changed those names, or just put generic names there so that we would interact more with this. Okay, now I have this. It's not been put in a table yet. Okay, these are just range. Yeah, that's the name I was looking for. These are just within a range of cells. So range of cells, what I mean by that is I have data from cell A1 up to Q, the last one there is Q, that's Q10. Okay, so all this is just a range of cells. Okay, now as a data analyst, it's always good for you to work in a table. Okay, working in tables are more recommended, because it just makes a lot of formula that you're going to be using within the table. It just makes your work very seamless when you work in a table. And your tables are automated in a way as well. Okay, such that if, for example, if a new column were to be added here, okay, it will just automatically get added onto this as a table. You don't need to do anything extra. Okay, let's say new information is being collected for customers and we have to add it on here. Okay, because this is in a table format already, it just automatically picks it. Or if there's a new customer that you are adding on, that's normally the most common thing. The most common thing is to have a new customer that you are adding, you are going to add to the last, to here, so as to row 93. Okay, so immediately you add that new customer, it just automatically picks it, picks it. So the more you add on, the more your table just expands. If this then becomes a source of, if this was to be a source of data, maybe you have loaded it into maybe Power BI or Tableau, because this is in form of a table already, you will just automatically easily update within your Power BI when you refresh your Power BI as well. Okay, so it works beautifully. And in terms of visual as well, you can see that immediately I change this to a table, we see all the colors pop up. This looks more eye-catchy, compared to this range of cells here that I have, And if you don't like the color, I'm sure there is somewhere where you can change the layout of your table. Okay, so I clicked in and this got added. So if I click out, click outside of the table, that table design will disappear. You see that disappeared there. But if I click back in, we see table design. And under table design, you see a lot of things you can do with your table. You can change the name. At the moment, it's saying this table as table 1. I can decide to change the name here. You see, I just clicked here and decide to call it customers table. Okay, customer. Okay, and enter that. And yeah, so this table is now seen as customer in terms of the name of it, not just table 1. So anywhere I am within this data set, if I'm picking something from here, it would reference this as customer, you know. And yeah, you can actually start to visualize from the table directly as well. I see that there is a slicer here. Okay, let's do a little bit of table, a little bit of analytics here. Okay, let's say I want to add a slicer. Slicer is like your filter. Okay, let's assume that I've got what, millions of rows here, and I just want to quickly filter through, you know, using a particular, maybe country. Let's use slicer country. I just want to see right now, I need information on only my customers that are from maybe Argentina or France or all of them. Okay, now I've got different options. Okay, I can come into country here, you know, and pick and unpick whichever one I want. If I want Argentina, that's quite easy, isn't it? I can easily do that. Okay, and I can see that I've got only three people, you know, only 3 customers from Argentina. But something more fun would be to add a slicer. Okay, a slicer, like the name implies, you are using, like, it's like you are slicing through your data. Okay, and it's asking me, what do I want to slice on? You can slice on country, and you can slice on city. That's just me picking this in at random. You can do those, and now it brings you this. This is what you call your slicer. Okay, there are more of filters. Okay, and I can decide to, okay, look through and like we saw before, Argentina, and we can see the city is however that is pronounced. You know, that's the city that they are all from, and that's the only one that's highlighted there. How about Austria? Okay, I've got 2 cities within Austria in this data set. Okay, and you see that even without us doing too much, we can have a look through and see what is happening. And it depends on what information you really want to look at within this. It could be that you just want to have a quick lookup to see, okay, maybe a boss just quickly came in and said, Deborah, you know, how many customers have we got currently, you know, in Brazil? Okay, within seconds, it's just a matter of click your slicers, pick Brazil, you know, if you want to use this. And if they want to go on to say, which cities are they from, you can easily see the cities that they are from within Brazil. And we can see how many we have, how many customers we have from there. And Canada, that's Canada. And it goes on and on and on. We are going to be using more, you know, of slicers when we finally start analyzing. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about this customers table, you know how we said in our keywords, how we said about facts table and dimension tables. So I'm going to stick to using fact table. You know, we said fact table are also transactional tables. So it depends on your choice. I will stick to fact table. And when I'm talking about the other side, I will stick to dimension table, the name I want to call it. These are also called lookup tables, but I'll say dimension tables, okay? Now, how we know, you know, that a table is either facts or dimension is what information is it giving us, okay? Now, tables like customers table, like you said, this is just giving us details of the customers that we deal with. Nothing more than that, okay? It's not telling us how much of our products each of these customers have bought at any particular point in time. It's just telling us, okay, we have a customer with customer ID, have key, and the company name is Alfred Futerkisti or something, and our contact person there is Maria Anders. They are sales representative. This is their address, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's all that we can glean from this table. Okay. And that is why a table like this, we call it lookup table, which is the same as dimension table. Lookup table or dimension table, they are there for information purpose. They tell us some form of description. They are descriptive about our business. This is describing the customer side to our business now. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. And then we move on to employees table. Okay. Employees table, if we change that to a table as well. Let's insert table. And there it has headers, and we have that. We can change that to a different color. Okay, let's change that to that design. Okay, again, this is just giving us details about our employees. Currently, we have 9 employees. These are their employee numbers, last name and first name. These are their roles, their job roles. This is their marital, not married. Is this status? Well, it says title of courtesy here, but yeah, their title. I think here, this should not be title. This should be maybe job role, so that we just use title for this. Their date of birth. Can we see that we've got information that's quite personal here? And these are the reasons, part of the kind of data that you want to restrict people's access to. Okay, because these are sensitive, birth date is quite sensitive data. Okay, so this is also another lookup table. Okay, because all it's giving us, it's just giving us information about the employees that we have. Okay, I can't say where we have address, we have their city, home addresses, we have their telephone number, who they report to, we have who they report to, and that's it really. Okay, this doesn't tell us this employee has sold so number of things, at some point. Nothing transactional about this table. Okay, so again, this is a lookup table. But let's go into something like other details or others. Okay. Let's change this to a table as well, just for better look. Okay. So now we have other details, and now we start to see some information around others. Okay. Now I see order ID, so that tells me that some orders have been placed. So I'm starting to look at this more like if I was the CEO or the director of this company. I'm happy because, okay, I can see, for me to see order ID, it means some orders have been placed. So that's money coming in. Okay, this tells me that there's been transaction, that has happened, for the mere fact that order ID has been mentioned. For the mere fact that we know there's some product, because I see product ID as well. So we can see the product that was bought on this order. Okay, we can see the unit price, of this product. We can see the quantity that was bought. Okay, and we can see if they got discount on it or not. We can see it there. Okay, so that is a fact table or a transaction table. Okay, whichever one you find easier to use. Okay, I think transaction table would remind you that a transaction has happened. That's why we call it a transaction table. Okay, and I think the same goes for orders table as well. Orders table fleshes it more out more in a better light for us. Okay, so if we change this to a table as well, we can see we can make more sense of this table, okay? If you were to look at a row, just row 1. Okay, if we were to look at just row 1 now, how would you put this? Okay, I need someone to, so I'm highlighting just row 1 now. I need someone to put this row 1 in one sentence for me. Put it in a sentence the way you have seen it. You can see it rather. We see order ID, we see a customer, we see an employee, we see the date it was ordered, date required, ship dates, what it was shipped through. So we can see shipping information, freight, the ship name, and all of that. In one sentence, how can you sum up what has happened in row 1?
Okay, can you hear me?
Go for it, please.
From this, on the look of the table, what I can see is the order detail of like that particular customer, what they bought, where they're from, where they like the specifics of like that particular order. So I think everything is focusing on the order, as is rightly stated, order information, and then from there now we have the customer name, like their particulars, but the focus is on the order this time around.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we can see that there's a focus on the order. Okay. Do we have any other person? What can you say about the first row in a sentence? Let's try.
Okay, for me, I would say it's a transactional table.
Yeah. It is a transactional table. What makes you say that, sir?
A transactional table.
Are you muted? We can't hear you anymore.
I said I'll call it a transactional table.
Yes, the table is a transactional table because there is order that has been placed, isn't it? So transaction has happened, isn't it? Okay. What I was looking out for is, okay, in one sentence, because you see, for you to understand your data, it would be nice to look at it and be able to, and attempt to put it in a sentence, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is me trying to put at least this first row in a sentence. I can say that there has been an order ID generated for a customer, so order ID 10248 was generated when customer WILMK placed an order. This customer was served by employee number 5, and the order was made on the 4th of July 1996. This order was required on the 1st of August 1996, but it wasn't shipped until 16th of August 1996, and it was shipped through number 3. The amount of money paid was £32.38. The ship name used, it was shipped by Vince Airtel Cole. That's the name of the shipper that was used. And it was shipped, the shipping address was 59 Rue de la Barre in the city of Reims. Okay. And the country this was shipped to was France. Okay, you see, when I try to put it in that sentence, it makes more sense to me that it's like you are now putting more context, to all these different rows, that you are looking at. So immediately I said that it's coming more as a reality to me that, okay, well, somebody placed an order, an employee attended to them. There's a date that they placed it. It was required for the 1st of August, and we shipped it in July, which means we shipped on time, before the required date. I can even start gleaning those information. I can see the shipping, the shippers that we use. It was shipped through whatever number 3 is. Okay, so if I'm confused now, okay, we have established that this is a transactional table. Yes. Now, all I can see is customer ID, WIL. I don't know who is customer. That doesn't make sense to me, because it's just the ID of this customer that's here. And I'm looking at employee ID 5. Can you call somebody 5? Well, it is their ID that we are using here. But I can easily go to customer's table, isn't it? If I look at this, if I copy that and go look for who the actual name of this customer, okay, in here, if I look for this customer, I should be able to find them. Okay, you see, they are right here. So if I filter on that customer, I can see, okay, the company name is Wilman Kala, and the actual representatives from them is Matti Katunen. Okay, you see, that gives me more insight to what these codes are. That is why we are saying that this is a lookup table. You see, I get more information on here. The same thing goes for customer ID 5. If I go into employee ID, if I go into employee and look at employee ID number 5 here, oh, this person was served by Stephen Buchanan, a sales manager. You see, that is why this is also a lookup table. Okay, I got more information about a particular ID, from there. Okay, if I want to keep digging, and is there anything on products? No. Okay, but it says ship via. If I look at ship via 3, what is 3? Okay, but if I come and look at the shippers table, okay, which is also a lookup table, by the way, the shippers table. If I look at it and see which one is having shipper ID 3, oh, it's Federal Shipping. Okay, that product was shipped by Federal Shipping. Can you see now that even without us drawing any table yet, we can see that customers table is related to others table, because some information are linking the two together. It's related to employees table. It's also related to shippers table, and a whole lot of other tables on here, that we are going to be looking at later. Okay, but the essence of this little practice is for us to, one, learn how to understand our data. Okay, we look at the customer, the column headers that we have, and we just try to maybe take a row of it and try to make it into a sentence to make sense of it. If it still doesn't make sense, then we have to ask the business, what is this table about? There's no shame or harm in asking that. Okay, because sometimes some tables are just peculiar to their industry, and you may not have very good knowledge of the industry just yet. So it's okay to ask questions. Okay, but it's really important. What is important is, at the end of the day, you understand what you are working with, so that you can make good judgment of the results that are before you. Okay, so today was about understanding your data, and also understanding the principle of facts table and dimension table. Facts table being the quantitative aspects of the business, okay? Or better still, the table that tells you the business of the business, the actual business that the business is about, the table that gives you information about how much business you guys are doing. And dimension or lookup table are then the ones that describe your business. Customers is an aspect of the business, but they are descriptive. Employees, they are also an aspect of the business, but they are descriptive. They give you quality, not quantity, qualitative aspects of the data. I think it's also safe to say that the facts table would contain the who. The who would be the customer. So it's giving you the who, the what, which is product in this case, the product that was sold, the what, the when, which is the time that whatever the business happened, the time that it happened, okay? And maybe by whom as well. So all those your who, whom, what, when, where, you know, you can easily get them answered on an orders table. Oh, sorry, on a transaction table, not just an orders table, on a transactional table or facts table, okay? You get the what are you selling? Whom, who did you sell it to? Where did it happen? When and how, okay, as well. You will get those answered on your facts table. Whereas on your dimension table, you're just going to be getting a one-sided lookup or a one-sided side to the business. I'm hoping that I'm making sense, you know, with that explanation. Is there any aspect of tonight's class that we need repeated at all? That's not very clear still. Let me know, please, so that we can have a little bit of a repeat tomorrow. Okay, just a very quick exercise now. What in your own understanding is a fact table? You can unmute and let me know, what do you understand by fact table when asked? Hello. I'm doing a quick progress check. Let's know. What do you understand by fact table? What do you understand by dimension table? How would you hope to engage with your data set to understand it? Those are the 3 questions that I would need us to answer before we round up tonight.
I will try.
Thank you.
I think the dimension table will contain will describe things like who, what happened, and then where, like the one you're showing us. It's like who made the order, who did it, and where was it shipped. If that makes sense, that's how I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah, I'm understanding it really. Yeah.
Yeah, in my little understanding from today.
Right. So we're saying that is that the dimension of the transaction table? Which one?
That was the dimensional table.
Oh, the dimension. Okay, I see. The dimension table. Do you want to give me an example of the dimension table from what we did today?
I don't know, like I said, I'm trying to just answer like from the table, from what we did today. From the, sorry, my network is a little bit bad. From the order table, so So it was like understanding like okay, I'll say there like who made the order, and then who was the employee who served the customer, and then where it was shipped, if it makes sense there, if I did understand it correctly.
Okay, so dimension table only gives you it's only there for information purpose. We have different dimension tables. Okay. So
Yeah.
dimension table would be something like your customers table, which only gives you information about the customers. It would be, yeah, it would be the employees table, which only gives you information about the employees. Okay. Or products table, which only gives you the information about the products that you, which only gives, is someone speaking? Yeah, which only gives you the information about the products. Those are dimension tables. They are descriptive in nature. Sorry. They only give you information. They are only there for lookup. If you want to look up somebody's details now, for example, or details of a product or details of a shipping company, like we have seen as peculiar to this data set, that is a dimension table. But transaction table, it tells you about the transaction that has happened, the business that has happened, you know, in that organization. That is what transaction table does. And when it tells you about the transaction that has happened, it will tell you the who did the transaction, who, by whom, when was it done, how much was involved if possible, you know, how was it carried out, you know. Most of those questions will be answered on a transaction table, not on a dimension table. So as we can see, order ID was generated. So these customers are the who, those that, you know, those that bought something, okay, and they were attended to by these employees, okay. When we have the other dates, you know, we have a few dates actually. So all the whens that are related to that business, even those that shipped it, how was it shipped, you know, you can easily see. So a lot of questions like that are answered on a transaction table. But dimension table are there for further information. They keep details of the descriptives around your business. Your business would involve customers. So dimension table, one of them is customers table, because it keeps more details about your customers. Your business would involve employees. You have employees, you know, working with you. Okay. So which means your employees table give you further details about your employees, you know, and then you have the table where you keep all of the information on the products that you sell, that you have sold over time. That is your products table. Okay. So that is just there for further information about your products. We can see there's the product ID, the name of the product, those who supply it, and so on, okay? But those tables will not tell you that an order has been placed. Where you have information that order has been placed, money has exchanged, and that is your transaction table, okay? I hope that makes further sense. Do we have any question at all? We are running over by a few minutes. Any question at all? All right, if there are no questions, I will say let's have a good evening. Thank you for making the class interactive again today. Well done to those of us who were able to research on those keywords. Let's keep working at it. There's still more on there. Okay, let's not stop at one or two. Most of the keywords you see there are quite important. And let's read up more on the concept of fact table and dimension tables. I know if you research and maybe Google it, you would even understand better, and you can come to class with more questions tomorrow. So I'll bid you to have a good evening. Let's have a good night, everybody. Have a good rest, and I'll see you tomorrow by God's grace.
So much.